does something inside you spiritually that allows you to understand that, you know, every moment we have in this life is beautiful.
You're a traitor to your people!
And you're the devil. You kill innocent people.
There's no innocent people!
That's it, you know, love brings everything. The happiness, the dreams, the family, the friends, everything. Actually, love, it's everything.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Liberty Libations. My name is Jake Green. Thank y'all for tuning in. Joined as usual by Zane, Placie, and Nick Ciesielski. We were supposed to have a guest tonight, Jamar Montgomery, but he seems to have ghosted us. So not going to hold it against him until we get a reason. But yeah, so if you tuned in for Jamar, apologies. I don't think he'll be joining us tonight, but Stephen Hilton will be. He'll be here in about 30 minutes or so, a little bit less. Zane, what are you drinking tonight, man?
Well, he didn't come because he saw that you were apparently recording from outside.
I'm recording inside. That's my porch out there. This is a fireplace.
Oh. Well, what do I know, as usual? I'm drinking something I don't think I've ever had on the show before, which is a nice limoncello.
Limoncello. Wow. Okay. All right. Nick, what do you got?
To start off, I've got a Iron City beer, the beer of champions, and I've also got some of my mead left over from Swampcast the other night. So,
oh yeah, tell me about Swampcast. How did that episode go?
I think it went pretty well. We talked a lot of Bitcoin. We talked some other stuff. You know, they got a good show going there. I like the way they intro the show. They run some funnies at the beginning.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into the intro for sure.
Yeah, they do some good work over there. We should start beef with them.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I think Josh Flopka's a little shit, you know.
Yeah, we should be beef. We should beef with them. Just play off of that for a little bit.
Well, nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I like those guys. I went on their show a couple weeks ago. Just talk about Cascade Effect. So, yeah.
So does everyone on Liberty Libations just get to go on the show now? Where's my invite?
You got to reach out to them, man. Unless
you got to do something that catches their attention.
Oh well, I'm definitely not going to do that. So
one of the guys is in the Bitcoin Caucus Discord. So he was like, "Someone want to come on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come on." And so
nice.
That's how that kind of worked out.
Anything talking more about Bitcoin, which we're going to do a lot of that tonight. I'm happy with. So yeah.
In other news, since we brought it up there, I did pass my ham radio tests.
Woo!
This past weekend. I passed both the tech and the general, so that's the first two out of 3 levels.
So
Yeah,
the question is now, Nick, how many nerd badges do you have on your nerd coat?
Well, I mean, a lot, because I mean, you have to remember I went to a nerdy ass engineering school.
Yeah.
Did play football there, so there is that. But you know, there's the nerdy stuff, but then there's also, like, you know, you can chalk that up to my, you know, libertarian self-sufficiency badges as well, right? So you've got that. You've got making your own booze, hunting your own meat. I mean, I don't know. I'm doing pretty well out here.
Yeah, you are.
So,
I mean, I'm a huge fan of gathering more nerd badges. I think that helps you in the long run. So keep it up, man. That's
So-
awesome.
If you're Jewish, do you instead get your beef radio license?
that's a good question.
Zane. Oh Lord, we need Steven here to laugh at.
We need to find a Jew and ask them that. So,
Well, the next time I see one.
Oh, they're easy to spot. I hear they have like cloven hooves and stuff.
All right. Just let it be known that I didn't take it there.
Totally kidding. No problem with Jewish people at all.
Borat told me they have horns.
Borat did tell me that. So cloven hooves are not far off. All right, everybody. This show is brought to you by Rabbit Eye Wine. Go pick yourself up a bottle. You can do it in person in Georgia or order it online if you're not living in Georgia. So go check it out, rabbiteyewine.com. Also, head on over to peacefulseed.network. Join the Dollar Media Club. It's $1 a month, and you get access to the Discord. You get discounts on merchandise. You get exclusive shows, including the offshoot of this show. You get sponsorship opportunities, red carpet premieres, and guest star. You can guest star on shows. Another thing you can do is upgrade your membership to get even more benefits. With the DMC Pro, you get 10% off merch. You get 50% off one merch item. You get downloadable links for all movies and documentaries and bonus episodes. You can download them directly to your device. You get a special thanks credit in all films and TV shows released, and exclusive access to behind-the-scenes footage. And then we also have a couple other platforms, which are DMC Investor and DMC Sponsor. You are interested in advertising for your company, your product, whatever it is. We reach, I don't know, close to, across the platform, we reach about 50 to 60,000 people a month, give or take, maybe a few more than that. All across the United States and a few abroad as well. So $1,000 a month or $1,000 yearly is not a bad it's not a bad fee for that. You also get,
well, if you want to give $1,000 a month, everyone would appreciate it.
if you want to give $1,000 a month, you'd be a DMC investor. So do that. We would very much appreciate that. We could really make this show go huge. All right. Yeah, and just go check out everything on the website, peacefulsea.network. All right, everybody, let's get into it. There's no Zach tonight, so I will be doing everything myself. Zach bailed on us last minute today. First things first. So tonight was going to be a lot about blockchain because Jamar Montgomery is a blockchain consultant, and he would have had many opinions on our opinions. So we're still going to tackle these topics because they were in the news this past week anyway.
I'd have opinions about his opinions, but
I'd have opinions about your opinions about his opinions, and those would be the best ones.
Awesome. All right. First up, blockchain battle. So here's Jack Mahler's talking about. Well, you'll just see. Here we go.
Okay, emergency press conference. Ripple is undermining American prosperity and freedom. I can confirm Ripple is actively spending millions of dollars trying to undermine a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States of America. This is not just an attack on Bitcoin. but on principles of transparency, on fairness, and on our national security. A Bitcoin strategic reserve would be one of the most important economic announcements in American history. I personally would put it on par with Nixon in 1971. However, it would be the first positive economic announcement that comes from the United States in the last 100 years. In 1933, the U.S. made an economic announcement. What was it? We're confiscating your gold. In 1971, the U.S. made an economic announcement. What was it? We're divorcing ourselves from the gold standard. We're divorcing ourselves from being governed by the immutable laws of Mother Nature so that we can debase your money and inflate your life. In 2008, the U.S. made an economic announcement. What was it? It was, we are bailing out and protecting private corporations, banks, and Wall Street at the expense of you, the public. If the U.S. goes on to make an economic announcement that is the support of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, it will not act against its people in the best interest of the public. It will do the opposite. This is a money that is owned, operated, and governed by the people. Governments and corporations own a fraction of this network. Who owns it? Who had first access? The people, the public. This is about being pro-industry, pro-jobs, pro-energy, pro-growth, pro-technology. This is about solving our deficits. This is about leaning into the future and investing in prosperity for generations to come. Equality, inclusion.
Gross.
The leader of the free world, adopting technology that promotes American ideals.
All right, we can stop it there.
We will fight on the beaches.
So what he's referring to is XRP, which is Ripple, basically lobbying, using millions of dollars to lobby the current administration into creating what would be known as a crypto strategic reserve instead of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, which is what was proposed prior to Trump becoming president.
Wow, that would be like if we said in Fort Knox we're going to have gold bars and also a bunch of pieces of yellow construction paper.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, did we expect anything different whenever you started getting shit coins coming out from Donald Trump?
Nope.
Right
That was
before
gonna be
the
one of my
inauguration.
Yeah, what Trump and Melania both released their own tokens like 2 days before the inauguration.
Whatever fund that is that I guess Don Jr. must be controlling or whatever, ended up buying a bunch of shit coins, and I don't know if there was something because there was
they also
speculation
bought
why
the-
wrapped Bitcoin was involved, but
that was the weirdest one. Why are you buying wrapped Bitcoin? Nick,
yeah,
can
I
you
was
explain
seeing
what wrapped Bitcoin is to folks who don't know?
Yeah, so wrapped Bitcoin is basically like a way of kind of being able to capture Bitcoin on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah.
So, basically you send Bitcoin, from what I understand, because I have not bought wrapped Bitcoin because I'm not stupid. But basically you send it to an Ethereum smart contract that then says, all right, you sent this much, so you get that same amount of Bitcoin in, of whatever amount of Bitcoin you sent to it in wrapped Bitcoin, which is an Ethereum token that then can transact on the Ethereum network. And it's saying, look, you can basically kind of use Bitcoin on the Ethereum network through this, but now you're also, you're not holding the keys to that. The quote unquote smart contract is, and we've seen all sorts of there's all sorts of vulnerabilities with that, or the chance of getting rugged or anything or things like that. So it's completely against the not holding your own keys and custodying your own Bitcoin. It's just like, how do I turn Bitcoin into shitty Ethereum style Bitcoin, I guess.
Yep. No, that's basically what it is. And it's a really stupid product that won't actually
For very
provide any
stupid
value
people.
for you. Yeah, won't actually provide any value for you in the long term. It's a horrible thing. Like, don't go buy wrapped Bitcoin. Also, don't go buy Ripple. Don't buy XRP.
No.
That is one of the stupidest coins that I've ever seen, minus all the meme coins. Like, all the meme coins are pretty stupid. That one's real stupid.
Especially the dollar. That's a terrible meme coin.
That's maybe the worst meme coin that's ever been invented. Yeah, Nick, do you know enough about Ripple to give it a quick overview?
I have not kept up on Ripple except basically to know that Ripple, what Ripple was trying to do at the start was basically become kind of a de facto central bank digital currency. They're like, well, we're going to do this and we're going to facilitate a lot of interbank transfers and this and that. So they kind of from the start created this monstrosity to kind of fulfill the role of what a lot of people would see the central bank digital currency.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about its only value proposition. There's not, as far as I know, much else going on with it.
No, there's not. And I mean, it's not a good coin to have. It's the Ripple owners own 50% of the coin. So it's not is like they could absolutely, there could be a rug pull as soon as they reached a certain amount of interest. They can add more. There's not a limit. There's no property of sound economics that fits Ripple.
And that's what you see on a ton of these altcoins, shit coins, whatever. Yeah. Is that like, and especially when you start talking about tokens and meme coins and stuff like on Ethereum or Solana, what you'll see oftentimes, because we saw this with like Haktua coin, is they release a certain amount, but a huge amount of it was held by the developers and whatever. So basically, like, they create it for free, they release a little bit, they hope to pump it, and then they look to dump on retail, which is kind of also what you were seeing if you looked. A lot of what like A16Z crypto was doing is they basically invest and buy a whole bunch of these tokens up at one point, then they turn around, market and pump it, and then as people bought in and saw that price pump, that he started dumping it on retail, which then of course it would come crashing back down. So you saw this over and over again with the venture capital getting involved on it. So these things aren't, if there's a foundation, if there's a company behind it, anything like that that's creating this thing, just know, like, they're looking to make, they're not trying to make better money. They're trying to make something to sell to you, and you pay them, and then they run off with your money.
Yep.
So,
exactly. Zane, do you have anything to say about anything we just said or about what Jack was saying?
So I don't really have anything to say about the other cryptos because, once you're suitably convinced that Bitcoin is the only good one, then I just decide I'm going to ignore all the other ones because they're stupid.
Yeah.
But you're doing God's work telling people to stay away from all the other ones. I will comment on the fact that the guy from the clip was really strongly in support of Bitcoin Reserve, like the U.S. government establishing a Bitcoin reserve. And I'm not saying that that's a bad idea, but I do think that it would be a very weird thing for the government, for the U.S. government to ever actually do it, because it's essentially a tacit admission that the U.S. government's own currency sucks. So it's like, if you're really wanting to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve, you may as well just say, yeah, we're packing it up and going home. We're done with the dollar and we're all just going to use Bitcoin, because that's pretty much what it is. If you're having a Bitcoin strategic reserve, that means you think that this other money is worth strategically reserving, which means that you don't think that your own money that you are currently producing yourself is really that good or worth that much. Otherwise, you wouldn't be stockpiling another money. Like, it would be one thing if you were stockpiling gold or oil or cheese or something that had an actual value.
We are stockpiling.
If you're yeah, I know we're stockpiling cheese. That's why I said it. But if all you're doing is stockpiling another money, which I would wholeheartedly agree that Bitcoin is way more economically sound and a much better money than the US dollar. But if you're the US government stockpiling it and tacitly admitting that, then why would you even be able to say we should use the US dollar for anything?
Okay.
Yep.
So a couple thoughts since we're diving into the strategic reserve. So there's two things I kind of want to look at on this. And I got a lot into this with the Swampcast guys too the other night. But if you look, there have been a lot of states looking to establish Bitcoin strategic reserves.
Yep.
Dennis Porter on his Twitter released a map that was mostly up to date. It's a little bit out of date because Montana introduced today also
Oh, sweet.
a bill to do that. So, but you've got double digit, 15, almost 20 states at this point that are looking to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Yep.
And when I was running for state treasurer, I kind of was pushing that myself at the state level. And I think at the state level, it makes sense because the states aren't printing money. They don't have the power to print the money. They have debts because they've been horribly mismanaged. They've got these pensions sitting out there where they've promised people too much for too long. And a lot of that's going to fall back on the taxpayer. And at least with Bitcoin, buying that as a backup, as a reserve for that, I think at least alleviates what could be an issue on the, to the taxpayers and helps balance out the portfolios on the pensions and, all the other stuff, which, we'd like to get rid of all this stuff, but while it exists, it shouldn't be, I guess part of it is you probably shouldn't rug pull everyone who, operated under the fact that they had a contract that said you get this pension and they plan their retirement around the fact that they were told, yeah, you contribute this, you get this pension at the end of your, when you retire.
Yeah.
So rug pulling, that's probably not the best option, but rather winding it down.
Yeah.
Switching it to
Jacob
basically
Hornberger would
401k.
disagree with you. He wants to rug pull, man.
Well, it's hard whenever unless you're, you could argue that the contract is illegitimate, that the state can't enter into that contract.
Yeah.
And fine, but I think that's also not going to be a winning strategy. I think it's better to, I think you're going to get the people, everyone else who's out here on 401ks and privatized retirement plans, tax advantage privatized retirement plans to say, yeah, we're going to just, government employees are basically going to be treated the same way as everyone else on that. You save your own money on this. You invest it, you retire on that versus, yeah, you sit around here and you work long enough and then we're going to guarantee you get this. And, the burden on that's going to fall on the taxpayers, which isn't fair because I don't think the taxpayers signed up to cover those,
Well, wait a minute. Just putting my actuary hat on for a minute, because this is the exact thing that I do. Regardless of whether it's a pension or a 401k, it's either the taxpayer is getting hosed on the front end paying for the 401k match that you'd be offering these people, or they'd be getting hosed on the back end by having to pay out the pension for decades. But the underlying math of how much it costs isn't dependent on whether it's a 401k or a pension. It's dependent on how rich the benefit is. So I totally agree. You're right that these government employees have been offered extremely lavish pension formulas compared to what everybody in the private sector is getting either in a pension or a 401k. But if these government employees were instead getting like a 10% match or something crazy in their 401k, that wouldn't be better to the taxpayer just because it's not a pension.
Not necessarily, but I think that, I don't know the math on that.
You're right that it's an easy thing for politicians to promise increased pension benefits because you don't have to pay for it right now. You only have to pay for it later when you're not in office anymore. And then you're screwing the next guy. Whereas, 401k match you've got to pay for right now, and it's a little bit harder to get away with. So I agree with your general point.
But also,
I just think we need
but
Go ahead.
also when you're saying, yes, I mean you're still theoretically paying more from the taxpayer money for that 401k match up front, but that match is probably, I would think, that's hard to tell because it's going to depend on how well the current pension system is managed, and if it's actually producing, how underfunded is the pension. Like if it's incredibly underfunded, it's 100% cheaper to be paying that up on the front end and then letting that principal grow versus, well, we don't have the money to cover the principal or this growth that we projected that was way too high, that's compounded over years and years and years. And so now we have to tax to make up, not only that principal difference, but the projected growth that we didn't get. So, I mean, yes, either which way the taxpayer suffers, but there is one, there is, I think, a slight preference there.
Zane, any rebuttal to that?
No, I think we should probably stop talking about this.
Right.
We've exhausted how interesting it is.
That's true. So what that brings me to is, so I'm not necessarily opposed on the state level reserves, especially because of limitations. States are going to have to budget in creating those reserves. A lot of the bills are saying, up to 5% or of investment funds can go into this. But, when you're talking about the federal government doing it, it's, we'll print and buy if they're going to buy, or, they're going to hold seized, whatever they seized or whatever, however they're going to do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to worry about there. But I think one thing that I also brought, and so, I have a lot more hesitation. I think if the federal government's buying it, I think you have a lot more legitimacy to Bitcoin in this space, because they're saying, this is valuable. And, that creates things in, Bitcoin's an open system. Anyone can buy it and anyone can use it. However, it fits within the rules, and the rules allow nation states to buy Bitcoin and hold it, and even print their own money and use that to buy it. Right. So, so if the system's going to work, it's going to have to work for whoever's interested. And who knows where it's going to go. But I think I brought this up on Swampcast also, is I think the game theory on this is getting to the point where it forces that reserve to happen regardless. Right. So, right. The states are looking at that. Why are we seeing so many states jumping on it right now? Because it's out there that the federal government's looking at this, and they know how much the federal government can print and buy on it. So they're saying, oh, we better hop in on this before they get in on it. That way we ride that wave up. And you're seeing foreign nations as well looking at this. I forget which country, I think, just announced that they were going to start buying it, but I think I saw an announcement on that. So, so you're in this point where the foreign nations, at home, the states are looking at it, but abroad, other countries are looking at it and going, hey, they're going to buy. Or we think they're going to buy. So it would benefit us to start buying and holding now. That way we ride up and ride up that same thing, and we get ahead of it. So the game theory says they're going to do it, which then is going to in turn, probably kind of force the U.S. government's hand to like, well, now we have to buy, otherwise everyone else is going to be buying, and then we are going to be, diluted beyond what we would hope to buy, or at the price we would hope to buy at. So,
yeah, and for me, like one of the biggest questions, actually, one of the biggest things I've been seeing a ton of comments basically saying, who cares if Bitcoin is a strategic reserve? It's going to, like, Bitcoin will be fine either way. And I don't think that was the point of what Jack was talking about. I think his point was, if you make a Ripple strategic reserve and you spend millions and billions of dollars and printing them, printing the millions and billions of dollars in order to buy Ripple, and then Ripple dives and tanks and does exactly what we know it's going to do, that will be an incredible waste, like an incredible waste of money, and the value of everybody's dollar will go like drastically down because of it, and it won't provide any type of good reserve for the United States.
Yeah, that and anything else they're putting in there, like we said, that Trump fund that bought all the Ethereum tokens and stuff like that. I'm looking at that like you get rugged on that, you know, that stuff drops. It's going to be a big, you know, I think we see this in Bitcoin, right? Like everyone starts buying in, you know, you get a little bit of excitement in the market. This is how shitcoin started Ethereum at least started as like, yeah, we have this idea. We're going to do more than what Bitcoin does. And they were kind of the first mover to be a real big alternative that kind of really differed in what Bitcoin was offering.
Yeah.
And so, you know, people bought in on that, and then they realized, hey, we can create shit coins on Ethereum. And then you had, you know, the ICO boom, which everyone's like, yeah, all these things, look at everyone just creating these initial coin offerings and everything that's going to go on. Well, what happens? The investment capital came in, they bought what they thought sounded good. They pumped the price, and then they dumped it. And then once it dumps there, the teams behind it that are like, yeah, we had this good idea, could no longer afford, you know, there's no excitement. There's no market anymore for their product because their token that they're relying on no longer buys anything, or nobody wants to buy it. So they're sitting there, and it's like, all right, you just killed the project through a pump and dump. And you saw that through the ICO booms. You see that kind of in the meme coin things now, where, you know, if you bought Trump the second it was announced and came out, before Donald Trump confirmed it was his, and you're buying it for fractions of a cent, and you rode that up to $50 and sold. I mean, you're doing pretty well. But
yeah, Steven, welcome to the show. First off, how much Trump coin did you buy?
Absolutely zero. Yeah,
good man.
What are you
Have
drinking?
you seen?
He put it all on Melania.
They're also been advertising these Trump commemorative watches, which I feel like you'd have to really be an idiot to buy one and wear it. But
the man's a marketer. So he has the Bitcoin. I saw the Bitcoin watches saying crypto president. And they came in, they were orange faces, but you know, this is a guy who branded his own steaks at one point and his own university. Right?
Yeah.
The man's a brander.
Yeah. All right, Steven, what are you drinking, man?
Wicked Weed Freak of Nature.
Nice.
It's an IPA. It's a double IPA.
I'm just going to say nice to anything that you present and just hide my true feelings from now on.
There we go. Yeah, future sponsor. That's a good way to treat them. Yeah.
There we go.
A double IPA, or as I like to call them, a dippa.
Yes.
A dippa. So yeah, Steven, we were just talking about Bitcoin's, or what is now clearly being transformed into the crypto strategic reserve instead of the Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Well, because XRP is going to be a part of it, right?
Yep.
Like that was the whole reason back in like 2017, 2018, when anybody that knew anything about crypto and what it should stand for was like, this is hot garbage. This is literally Rothschild's coin. Like, just no. And then the guy that created it had like 95% of it to himself. So, but, you know, fortunately for Ripple Labs, they listened over the last 7 or 8 years, and, you know, they wrested away most of his supply so he can't flood the market and drop the price. You know, they put it in escrow. It's run by, you know, a board, and, you know, no two members of the board have more of a vested interest in how much gets released into circulation. So, I mean, they've done some things, and Ripple Labs has done great things. You know, my wife's special ed class for, you know, the 5 years that she was teaching when we first got married, that Ripple Labs was matching dollar for dollar for any classroom donations.
Wow.
So, you know, you can't say that they don't do some good, but in terms of, you know, ideology, the coin is garbage.
Yeah. Coin's garbage.
Now,
Coin's garbage. Like,
am I making money on it? Hell yes, I am.
Yeah, you can make money off this stuff, but you can also lose it all too. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can hate baseball and still pick up a Mickey Mantle at a garage sale, right?
There we go. Yeah, big time, big time. In some very good news, talk about it going mainstream. Costco now sells Bitcoin at every location. You can
Dude.
buy Bitcoin at Costco.
I mean, most gas stations sell it too. So
Hey, this is Costco. Okay, this isn't some rundown.
do they sell it at bulk
crappy gas
discount?
station where you're going to get mugged? Okay. What'd you say, Nick?
Do they sell it at bulk discount? I like this comment. Waiting for the Kirkland coin. It's just as good.
What do you think the commissions that these are going to be?
I mean, no more. I wouldn't think any more than like trading on Coinbase or anything like that.
I would suspect their commissions might be less. I mean, that's the model is to basically sell almost at cost and rely on memberships to.
Or it could be like the strip club where it's like, you know, you need something, here it is, but you're going to give us money for it.
Could be.
You know, that's one good thing, but it would be nice to see them then accept Bitcoin as payment at the cash registers.
There we go. That will be
Right.
a big turning point. As soon as I can pay with Bitcoin at Costco, I'll know we're going to be okay.
Yeah, when you can walk in and buy a gold bar with Bitcoin.
Oh man, that'll be fantastic.
What about buying Bitcoin with a gold bar?
Oh, there you go.
I wonder if that would work. Do you think that would work at the Costco stores?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go try this out. I haven't been to a Costco since they made this announcement and implemented these machines. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately a Sam's Club guy because the nearest Costco is like 40 minutes away, and the closest Sam's Club is like 8 minutes.
Yeah,
Yep,
in my
that would
town,
make
they're
me-
literally next door.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
and we swapped over to Sam's Club because Costco was, if you didn't wear a mask, and this is like middle of 2021, if you didn't wear a mask, they would turn you away.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
I was
only
like,
reason
How about you refund my membership, Chief? I'm out of here.
there we go. I like one thing about Sam's Club more than Costco, and it's that you can scan everything with your phone as you're putting it in your cart and just walk out of the store
Yeah.
paying for it through the app. That is awesome. You don't have to sit
I
in any
haven't-
stupid lines or anything.
I haven't been doing that. I should try that, but I do like the new exits now. Like ever since they put their AI, camera intelligent exits in, instead of having to stop and get your receipt checked, they just go, "You're good, you're good." I've gotten checked once in the past like 6 months.
Okay, well that would speed things up too, but I like just scanning it with the phone and move on. Not have to go pick a line and always pick the wrong one. And then
But it always seems like Costco's doing more cool stuff.
Costco's always doing more cool stuff, but the checkout procedure is still stupid. And okay, so before we wrap up the blockchain battle topic, just want to remind everybody that if I can pull it up, 80% of all dollars were created in the last 5 years, which is why you should be buying Bitcoin.
Amen.
Wait a minute, up to 80% of all of them? The last time I checked in on this stat, it was like 1/4 of them were created in the last 5 years.
Yes, money printer has gone burr for
No,
quite a while.
Is
40
this
so after 2021, it was 40% of all dollars were created between 2020 and 2021.
I mean, this also gets confusing because are we talking M2? Are we talking M1? Or are we talking like
M2.
the general euro
When
dollar?
when they say something for the sake of a mean, it's usually M2.
Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that
Yeah, no,
because
yes.
the M1, M2, M3, or if we talking like just general euro dollar, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
That's the other part, right? We know there's 21 million Bitcoin. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, but it's impossible to know how many dollars people are creating. We're out here just kind of guessing at it and figuring this out.
I mean, I've got a printer in the other room just printing bills all day long.
You have to create a bank first before you're allowed to do that.
Okay, Bank of Jake. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you just got to create a bank, and then you're allowed to put as much money as you want on your own accounts.
Perfect. So yeah,
The Bank of
Did y'all,
Jake
did y'all
stores
talk
all
about? So, like, there's cyber wars heating up. Obviously, I mean they've been in place for at least the last decade. So, I mean, and with the new, the emergent AI race, which is the obvious space race of our time, it seems like the only people that are going to really make it out of this thing, and bring their nation, their civilization to the next level of humanity is going to be who merges AI with blockchain first.
Mm-hmm.
Because our generals have been talking about this for quite a while. Vitalik Buterin, the guy that created Ethereum, he was over there helping Pooty Poot do his COG measures. Back in 2018? Teaching him how to command his military with AI. So I think like a lot of the drone swarms that you see and things like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like all the continuity of government measures that are in place. Any kind of fifth generation warfare that you're going to see is AI run, merged with blockchain technology, deploying autonomous vehicles.
Jeez.
I mean, human interface warfare is being minimized, and even then, there's next generation tech to be introduced with that as well. I mean, like just for recreational hiking, we're supposed to get an exoskeleton, on the market later this year. From like the waist down.
Yeah, I've seen that thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. So
I have no interest in that. Like they're just we're on a bullet to just making humans as weak and useless as possible in our physical form. As soon as one electric component fails with those legs, your legs are going to be so atrophied from not using them that you're going to be useless. I hate that. I like it for people who have leg problems or are paralyzed in some way. I think that is a fantastic tool. But if you are a healthy person and you're wearing an exoskeleton to go hiking, I want to punch you in the face.
What if we did it and created some sort of extreme sport with it? Like imagine football with exoskeletons. You can jump higher, run faster, beat the hell out of each other.
Oh yeah, what's that Japanese game show? Elite XC or something like that?
MXC?
MXC, there you go.
Yeah, that show was awesome.
Yeah,
I'd be totally down for some exoskeleton clad people.
Right, you could get some real wild stuff going with it.
That would be very fun.
This is very similar to the argument that we should just let athletes take steroids. Why wouldn't we want the athletes to be faster and stronger?
I think you should have some free market competition on that, right? If you have the steroid league and the natural league, and see what people prefer. It's probably going to be the steroid league.
Yeah, it's like pros versus Joes, but just a different form.
Well, the response to that is that it's not illegal to take steroids, and so far we have not seen any steroid league eventuate.
It has been proposed and funded, I believe, at this point, that there will be. I don't think it's football. I think it's. I thought it was MMA, where they're not going to have any rules on what substances you can put in your body.
That makes sense there because it's individual and you don't have to try to field a team.
Yeah, I think it's MMA, and I think it's been funded, or at least they're starting to fund. I can't remember what it's called though. We'll have to look that up and check.
Well, at least we're gonna get roided out power slap, if nothing else.
I can't believe those people who do the power slap thing. I think about that and I just no.
You're just volunteering for brain damage.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stand there and get slapped in the face.
It's the new age bum fights, but it's no one's as mad about it because both people are allegedly of sound mind and body going into the contract.
WWE was strictly pro steroids, according to Grumpy. That's fair.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. That is very true.
Stephen, I believe you put this article in the chat, right? Ray Dalio warns of brutal AI war between U.S. and China. No country can lose.
That's right.
Yeah, and you were referencing some of this when you were talking a second ago. Yeah, this was our second topic that we were going to talk about, and it kind of had to do with the first. And I wanted to hear what Jamar had to say about it, but like I said, he's not here, so we don't get to hear what he has to say about it. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to add on to this article, or whatever you were thinking about it?
Well, like I said, it's just it's one of those things that's kind of been in the back of my mind for the better part of 10 years now.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, when I was talking about Vitalik Buterin meeting with Pooty Poot back in 2017, it was about that time my brother was at an insurance company, and they had these annual conventions, and this is one where they had it was like a national level. They invited nationwide all of their employees to this one convention. And there was a retired 4-star general that got up there. And of course, he gets up and he starts talking about, character development, mindset, leadership, blah, blah, blah. And that was like the first 30 minutes. And it was like, and he was saying that at that point, it was like a switch just flipped. And then all of a sudden, like, he went from leadership characteristics to all of a sudden he was like, whoever merges their military tech with AI and blockchain is going to rule the world. It's the new space race. And just like, went off for like 45 minutes about like what blockchain can do for military capabilities. And yeah. And he's like, if whoever gets AI to run that stuff first is going to control the world. And of course,
the United States military was defeated by goat herders. I'm not worried.
Right. But, they're all looking around the room. They're like, what does that have to do with insurance? Like, what the hell is going on right now? And it's just weird because he calls me right after that meeting happened, and he's talking to me, and he's just he's like, dude, something's coming down the pipes. And that was back then. That's when FTX was still legit, I guess, because they were still like the best news aggregator for crypto, I gotta say. But back then it wasn't FTX, it was still Blockfolio before they bought it.
I remember Blockfolio.
Oh yeah, dude, the news app. Like, I deliberately did not update when FTX bought them because the Blockfolio news app was the best thing I'd ever seen.
That was a good app. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Dadgum, I didn't know FTX bought it.
Yeah.
It just kind of disappeared from my phone one day.
Yeah, right. It was, you're not updating, we're mad at you. And then it went to, you can't use this. And then it went to, Android has deleted this. So I mean, and that was, so we're talking, CoinDesk, Cointelegraph. You've got news articles going all the way back 8 years, kind of, tracking the emergence of all this stuff because everybody's been asking. They're still asking today, and it's more prevalent now that we have a pro crypto president in office, allegedly.
He's not pro Bitcoin, he's pro crypto, that's for sure.
Right, but now people are asking, what is this blockchain technology? All of a sudden.
As my wife would say, all of a sudden. Every time I say all of the sudden, I think she wants to slap me. Like, it's really bad.
Oh, that's like you with less and fewer?
Yeah.
Wait, is the phrase supposed to be all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I've always thought it was all of the sudden.
It's all of a sudden.
But it's supposed to be wow. You learn something new every
it's
day.
Actually all of a sudden. A sudden is one word.
Well, suddenly everyone's asking about this blockchain.
You're making
technology.
this up.
Suddenly. Good pivot. I like not using it at all. Not even giving them the satisfaction.
I dance around that, man. If I forget how to spell something, I just rephrase it entirely. I have enough words in the tool bank up here.
That's fair. Oh man. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, now everyone's asking, what is this blockchain technology? And heads up, our government's been on top of it for 10 plus years. The Mt. Gox hack, literally.
Wait. Some quack said, I've literally never heard anyone say the sudden.
Tell me you live in the North without telling me you live in the North.
I had never heard somebody say a sudden until my wife corrected me and then pointed it out in like a million books.
Oh,
Yeah. So I guess I had. LOL busted. Yeah. Welcome to
Zane, that's an appeal to authority fallacy.
Look, I've always said all of the sudden, so I'm having to admit that I've been wrong all of my life, I guess.
Oh, gosh, this is it's delicious when Zane has to say he's wrong.
yeah.
Like,
Hey, at
I
least
don't
you're
want
humble
to
about
revel.
it.
Yeah, I don't want to revel in Zane's misery or his failures, but sometimes it feels really good to have Zane fail.
So what we know for sure is this technology is not going away. You know, Elon warned us in the cornerstone of what sparked this whole movement, you could say, what really accelerated it when he went on Rogan, you know, the one where he smoked a blunt.
Yep.
And Rogan was asking him, hey, man, you know, what is this stuff? Can we get away from it? Can we stop it? He's like, nope, you definitely can't stop it. It's definitely taking over. It's just, how are you going to use it? Right.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, you know, like the algorithm on social media. Yeah, you can totally withdraw from social media, or you can use it and you can leverage the algorithm to get the best shopping deals, stay plugged in with your friends, and know when stuff's happening across town. You know, there are ways to train the algorithm to filter out crap you don't want to see. But if you're just one of those doom scrollers, what's that?
I think Nostr lets you choose your own algorithm.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, the Facebook algorithm, it is possible to tailor it to just show you positive things and stuff that you would actually want to buy. It's all based on your habits and behaviors while you're using it. So that's kind of what Elon was saying was, you know, you have to merge with this, but you have to decide, how are you going to use it? You know, are you going to use it, you know, just to show off, you know, like a hiking exoskeleton or go on some Japanese game show? Or, you know, are you going to use it to, you know, make yourself smarter? Are you going to program an AI bot to, you know, do stock and crypto trades while you're at work as a side hustle? Or, you know, are you just going to look for the hottest babes on Tinder? You know, it's you can do anything. My brother's getting his groceries with this stuff. Chat GPT, you can tell it to, hey, man, I've got a family of 4. I want you to shop at Publix and Kroger near me. I've got a $250 a week budget, and I want high protein meals, and I need 5 recipes. 30 seconds later, this thing comes back and gives you the full list, full meal plan for the week. Would you like me to order the groceries?
What?
Hell yeah.
I am not.
can do that.
I am not utilizing AI enough. That is for darn sure.
Yeah, I am not playing with it as much as I should.
Right.
That's wild. If it's saying,
How
can
much
I
time
order
do you
it?
spend meal planning and budgeting groceries? Right? Like, so it's one of those things. But then what do you do with the free time? You know, are you just, you
We
know,
do this
turning on
show, Stephen. We do this show a lot more. That's what we do with the free time.
There you
We
go.
rotate this to a morning show and we become the Drive Time Liberty podcast.
There we go. And Zane dropped something in the comments real quick for everybody. It's all of a sudden. There's no the.
Appeal to authority fallacy.
Oh, Lord. This is sad.
The English language is not French, where they have a whole bunch of stuck-up, pretentious old assholes who say what's allowed to be a part of the language and what's not.
That's fair.
Well,
Which
so
I caught some article.
Sudden. But what about all of a sudden?
Which I caught, which was actually kind of weird. I saw an article, I think, that said that the French language is slowly being influenced by Africa and African slang because the French language authority is that strict about letting stuff in. So now the other French speaking countries like in Africa that are mixing in like native words and stuff like that, those words are making their way into the French slang in France.
That's wild. I mean, Steven's the etymologist here. He should know all this.
Yeah. I actually have an etymological dictionary up on the shelf right here next to me.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
It was a Valentine's
That
gift
should be-
a couple of years ago.
That should be featured behind you. You should make just a bookshelf that holds one book with just that book behind you.
I mean, most of it
And it's
most
held
of
up
it
by
goes.
a giant dildo.
Yeah. I mean, most of it goes back to Middle French or Old English and then into the Germanic. So, I mean, it's kind of, if you guess there, it's kind of.
And all of a sudden, I stopped saying all of a sudden.
All right. Oh, wait. Steven's giving.
If I could, I forgot to mention one thing about Bitcoin. That was an interesting fact I saw today.
Okay, go.
Some lucky guy on a $400 rig at home solo mined a block today.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
Luck of the draw, once in a lifetime hit. A $400 home Bitcoin miner mined a block today solo.
Wow.
So what, he
Good
got,
for him.
what is it, 8 Bitcoin out of that?
3.125.
Wow.
That's like $300,000 on a $400 rig.
That's unbelievable. Good for him.
Those are. I was thinking about buying a couple of the like little home miners that you can buy that are never going to hit because they don't have the hash rate.
Yeah.
One, just to say that just to be kind of involved in the mining side, but also, you're playing the lottery and you're probably never going to win, but someone did win.
Yeah, I have plans to get one. But yeah, some quacks right. Dreams do come true.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stephen put this in the chat. Vitalik Buterin reflects on his meeting with Putin, depicts the FTX collapse.
Yeah, and if you scroll down a couple paragraphs, there's one of his quotes is highlighted in the middle of the page.
This one.
Yeah.
Now, 5 years later, I finally realized that I had been complicit in legitimizing a genocidal dictator. And within the crypto space, too, I no longer had the luxury of sitting back and letting mystical other people run the show. Oh, boy.
Right?
That's not a good sign.
He's that kind of autistic where he's just like, oh, you want to hear about this? He'll preach whoever will listen, he will preach.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things you can say about Putin. I think genocidal might not be the proper description.
Correct. I do not.
And that shows he's been brainwashed the other direction.
Yeah.
Through the leftists.
And that's something that's been echoing my mind all week, man, was Dave Smith after the election. He said, guys, as easy as it is to laugh at, these brainwashed people just screeching at the sky, focus on the brainwashers.
Yeah.
Because someone did this to these people on purpose, knowingly.
Yeah.
Yep. But we already talked about the Jews on the show today, Steven.
Jeez. They were doing that. They were making those jokes with Swampcast too the other day.
Hey, anybody that needs $50 million for condoms, I need to hang out with them. Right?
All right. Moving on to the next topic. Here we go. If I can pull it up. Unusual Whales tweeted this out. California Secretary of State Shirley Weber has approved a campaign to gather signatures petitioning for a vote on whether California should leave the U.S. and become an independent country, per Newsweek. Now,
don't let the door hit you on the way out.
There we go.
My one thought on this is yes.
Yeah, I have. That's my singular thought. Other than look at all the qualifications that happened during this. So, the Secretary of State approved a campaign to gather signatures that is a petition for a vote. Like the number of stages that have to occur successfully for this to go through is insurmountable. But it is fun.
And even if it did, you're going to end up in the whole Brexit situation where they go, well, that wasn't the outcome we wanted. We need to have a vote again.
Yeah.
And then, let's spend the next 5 years trying to negotiate with people who don't want to negotiate. And
yeah, that's probably true. Anyway, I guess my primary thought was like, what do you think would be the result? Like, what would be the result of California actually seceding from the United States? What would be the result for us first?
We would lose 40% of our GDP immediately.
Yeah, we'd lose a lot of GDP.
I mean, it would be like it's like 15% of the population and 40% of our GDP. Keep in mind, it's almost 2/3 of the produce in this country. Like, so don't just think Silicon Valley and megalopolises. It's also our agriculture.
Yeah.
But that's also a huge problem because California doesn't have fresh water. I mean,
They
do. They
way
just
more
they
fresh water
just
than they say.
shot it straight at the ocean on
Yeah.
purpose.
well, they don't have that much of. I mean, the
They
amount
have
of fresh
plenty
water.
of fresh water. They could
they have
drown
so-
LA if they wanted to.
Well,
they're mismanaging the entire resource. That's what the
yeah,
problem.
but
I'll be right back. Hang on.
I'm pointing out that there's a lot of California that is desert. It's there's
Yes.
been a whole lot of water mismanagement out there, but also you don't have big rivers like we have in the east here with like the Mississippi and all the tributaries. You don't have those big rivers out west. I mean,
Yeah,
you have the Colorado River coming out, and you've got all the dams and reservoir. You've got all the dams and reservoirs on it, and that kind of you have all the water right management and all these interstate compacts dealing with it because there's not enough water out west.
Yeah.
So
but
there's water in California and the snowpack and everything like that, especially a year like this, last year where they had a ton of snowfall in the Sierra Nevadas, and were able to and of course the mismanagement with that. Although, part of the excuse they made with that was, with all that water, we had all this extra growth, and now we're in a drought, so all that extra growth dried out, and that's even more stuff to burn. But
there you go. Some quacks on something. State of Jefferson might want to have a say. Amen to that. Split them out first, and then the rest of California can go. Because by the way, most of the agriculture in the state would be in the state of Jefferson.
Isn't most of the agriculture in the central valley there?
That's a lot of it.
So that's still south of San Francisco.
Yeah, and Silicon Valley would still take a hike. I mean, by and large, but
they ain't making anything that impressive anyway at this point.
There's a massive ideological shift in Silicon Valley because who's the Sergey Brin's ex-wife? The old Google exec, his ex-wife that ran as the VP for RFK.
Oh, Shanahan.
There you go. She's mad. Like, she's talking about any U.S. senators that are pressing against RFK. Like, she's coming after their jobs. And she's got the money to do something like that.
Yeah, which is good. That would be very good. Yeah, I saw her going. I saw that video of her saying she's not going to play nice and she's going to go after whoever. And I saw her saying she's coming after Warnock, which is probably good because that dude does not need to be in D.C.
Right.
What did I miss? Apologies.
So we were talking about California secession. It's a big source of the agriculture. Some brought up the state of Jefferson, and that would be a great idea, but we would still lose Silicon Valley. We'd still lose some key financial hubs.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about that we would lose stuff, what do you mean by we, and what do you mean by lose? Because not like everything in California would just go up in a puff of smoke and would no longer be around. Like, we'd still have access to it, and like as long as there was still
with 25% tariffs.
Well,
yeah. Well, and then if they seceded, though,
not.
then we would notice they have all these resources, right? Like, there's a bunch of oil and gold out there, so they would need some democracy and freedom.
Well, maybe
yeah.
they
Well,
would.
yeah. I mean, they got oil out there, but they can't drill for it.
They can't, right?
Yeah.
Which is why once we liberate them from their successors.
There we go. Zane, did you prepare?
I'm just saying that a lot of people in the U.S. think that they just personally are benefited by the fact that the U.S. is huge. And I would say that you don't actually get any personal benefit from the territorial boundaries of the United States. You definitely get a benefit from all of the things that everybody else in the United States is doing. But it's not like that would stop if instead of the United States, we had some other political arrangement.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of states which, oddly enough, most of them are southern, could be self-sufficient. If the U.S. wasn't really a thing, Texas was.
Well, I don't even care if they could be self-sufficient. There are plenty of countries that are completely not self-sufficient, do lots of trade, but their people are still really prosperous because their government doesn't stink.
Yeah, like Brunei. Yeah, they seem to be making it hand over fist these days.
Well, that's oil. I mean, what are they doing in Brunei besides oil?
Cell phones.
Do they?
Well, the Sultan was tied into some cell phone companies. It
Well,
might have just been investments.
well, yeah. I mean, I know the Sultan's rolling in it. He's got some crazy house and some crazy cars.
You're right.
Yeah.
The Sultan of Brunei is one rich dude. He's, what is he richer than the Saudi princes? He's got to be, right?
He was top 5 on the planet for quite a while.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question for Zane. Do you have trivia prepared for today?
I do.
There we go.
Trivia prepared. It would be a question of why is he here?
Yeah, that would be a great question to ask if you didn't have trivia prepared.
Job. Prepared trivia.
There we go. All right. Dadgummit. Sorry, y'all. It's many more things have to happen when I'm doing this solo, and Zach bails on me for this week and next week.
Oh no!
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, Zach is failing at producing.
We need to get a backup producer.
All right, which one is it? Oh, you got it. Never mind. There we go.
All right.
Take it away, Zach. Zane, take it away, Zane.
All of a sudden, he's got a new name.
Potent Potables 4.
The potentate. All right, everyone. Welcome to another week of Libations Trivia. As usual, we've got 3 rounds. Round 1, 8 questions, 1 point each. Round 2, 6 questions, 2 points each. Round 3, 4 questions, 3 points each. Tonight's categories. And the trend of me writing categories designed for people that aren't on the show continues, because round 1 is about Hollow Earth. Obviously designed because Alden specifically requested it last week, but he's not here. Round 2 is all about gambling, and round 3 is the 51st state.
Greenland.
All right. Love it.
All right, round 1.
I'm going to fail miserably. Steven's got this one, I think.
We'll see.
Question 1. What Kentucky cave used by humans in Nick?
The Mammoth Cave.
Dadgummit.
Wow.
I freaking knew that one. F.
Read the rest of the question, because I'm learning something here.
What Kentucky cave used by humans in various ways going back thousands of years is the world's largest known cave system and is now a national park?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You said Kentucky Cave, and I'm like, well, there's one answer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Question 2. Shown here is the covering over what hole? One might say it's a manhole cover. Over what hole? Nick.
That's not the Cola Super Deep Borewell, is it?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're effed, Steven. We're effed.
Yeah. The manhole specialist.
That's a good thing I got that one.
Mr. Manhole. If you get a sticker
It'd be
on
embarrassing if I didn't get that one.
Right.
Although, did either of you guys have that answer?
No.
No.
Some said WTAF. Here, let's
It's in Russia. It's like northern Russia, kind of like north of St. Petersburg on the Kola Peninsula.
I
Yeah.
kid you not, everybody. If you here, I'm gonna sub this in real quick. You can go get Nick's sticker, which he is known as Mr. Manhole, on our website. So go grab yourself a Mr. Manhole on peacefulsea.network. It's okay. Alden is also Alden makes me Hardee. So Hardee is his last name. So you're not the only one with an embarrassing nickname on there. All right, go ahead, Zane.
Question 3. Made famous by Jacques Cousteau, the Great Blue Hole is a marine sinkhole off the coast of what Central American, Nick?
Belize.
Oh, Belize that?
No, Stephen.
No.
You would have very much appreciated a joke Zane made earlier.
If I ever go to Belize, I'm going to be looking for a shirt that says Belize that.
I love it.
More like Belize nuts, am I right?
It's too bad that John McAfee had to go and not kill himself, and is no longer living in Belize.
Dude, how did we not have we not talked about that on this show yet?
Well, thankfully, he uploaded himself to an AI.
Let's talk about this afterwards.
Yeah, we should discuss that.
Keep going, Zane.
Question 4. The workers in this photograph are laying pipe to pump water out of a cave during a 2018 rescue operation in what country? Nick.
Malaysia?
No. I believe that was Steven next.
El Salvador.
No. Jake.
Thailand.
Oh, God.
This is, in fact, the event in which Elon Musk called one of the cave divers a pedo guy.
I couldn't remember which country. I picked the neighboring one. It was either Thailand or Malaysia. Same thing.
There we go.
Oh, they hate each other. It's not the same
Taken
thing.
off for doing the salute.
My heart goes out to you, Grumpy.
Question 5. The political movement of sewer socialism, so called due to its emphasis on reform and public works over social revolution, was centered on what Midwestern city? Jake.
I don't know. Kansas City.
No. Nick.
Chicago?
No. Steven.
Green Bay.
Jake.
Oklahoma City.
No.
Damn it.
Nick.
Topeka.
No. Steven.
Wichita.
And anyway, your hint is that an MLB team plays here. Jake.
St. Louis.
No. Steven.
Cleveland.
No. Nick.
Oh, that was a good one.
Cincinnati.
No.
Oh.
Jake.
Minneapolis?
No.
Some guy says Columbus.
Not Columbus.
Midwest.
I think there's been one guess so far that's been in the right state.
Oh, dang.
Steven.
Springfield.
No.
This is a tough one.
Nick.
Minneapolis.
I already said that.
Already been said. Jake.
Indianapolis? There's no baseball.
No. Yes.
That was the first guess. I'm quack. Sorry.
All right. The name of the MLB team in the city is an occupation that the city is known for.
Dadgummit.
Nick.
Milwaukee.
Wow. Yeah. You were so close, Steven.
Yeah.
You were so close.
Right.
You were one city away, man. You were right there.
Dang
Come on.
I mean, I guess initially, I guess Chicago initially. That's fairly close to Milwaukee.
Yeah, but Green Bay's closer.
No, I don't
Question
think it
6.
is.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Question 6. What term specifically refers to the underground habitation of a rabbit? Steven.
Burrow.
That's the more general term for underground habitations of animals. So can you be more specific?
Breeding pit.
No. Also, ew. Jake.
I was gonna say burrow. Some quack says den.
No.
Pass.
Nick.
Rabbit hole.
No. Your hint is that it shares its name with a U.S. senator.
Current U.S. senator.
With a current U.S. senator, Nick.
It's a Fetterman.
Jake.
It's a Rand.
No.
Dadgummit. Current U.S. senator. I actually know it. I just can't remember the name.
Steven.
Massey.
No.
He's not a senator.
Even worse.
It's almost as bad as Zach guessing dead president's farewell address.
Back to back, too.
I was laughing. I was listening to it on a plane. I was cracking up. I do know this.
Is the audience saying anything?
No, not right now. I can't believe the audience hasn't gotten it. Where has Hannah been? She needs to freaking tune in again.
Yeah, we need more interaction in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone got anything? Jake?
Hollow.
No. This. Oh,
Holler.
Okay. No. This is a Warren.
A Warren.
No way.
Yeah.
I would have never got that.
I would have eventually, but I didn't.
Well, but I would have said a Pocahontas.
Question 7. What dimension of Minecraft is pictured here? Jake.
Hades.
No.
I don't know.
Steven.
Underworld.
No. Nick.
Agartha.
No. Well, at least none of you are nerds, so you got that going for you.
Yeah.
I have never once played Minecraft, and I
I
probably
literally
never will.
know zero things about Minecraft.
My son was just watching a video of someone playing this a week ago.
Grumpy says
Well,
Bangladesh.
I mean, you apparently you punch trees and get wood and then build stuff.
What? Wait, what kind of wood?
I don't know. You punch trees and get wood.
The trees break up into wood. It's not like you punch trees and then you get wood.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how it works.
I don't.
Steven.
Fire dimension.
No.
Some quack says downstairs. Oh yeah.
All right, there.
Basement.
Jake. All right, there are no gamers in the chat. This is called the Nether.
There are plenty of gamers. None of us are children gamers.
Yeah, ask me something about World of Warcraft.
Ask me something about Call of Duty.
Nah.
I'm still trying to catch up on Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah. Assassin's Creed, another great one.
I've been playing Odyssey for a while now, and I'm
Nice.
trying to get through it. It takes forever to. Those games are so long.
Yeah.
Question 8. What American singer released a 1970 song Coal Miner's Daughter? Steven.
Dolly Parton.
No.
She was
You
in
were
the
so
movie.
confident in that too.
I know.
You were so confident. Grumpy said, ask me about Farmland, the game. Coal Miner's Daughter. Grumpy says Loretta Lynn.
Oh, audience has it.
Good
Oh.
job, Grumpy.
Yeah. I was trying to. Yeah. I
would not
didn't
have
I had it. I couldn't have. I was. Yeah. I was struggling.
it's
to
still
get
lots
there,
of
so
work,
I'm
right?
like,
It's Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn, or Bella Fleck. Outside of that,
the second
don't
Grumpy
really
said it,
understand
I'm
this
like, yeah, that's right. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's the score after round one?
All right. At the end of round one, I've got Nick with 4, Jake in the audience with 1.
How do you do quote unquote Hollow Earth and not one single question's answer is a Dartha?
What is that?
Jeez.
It's
Zane,
moving
the
on.
ancient city.
Conspiracy theorist.
Look, I told you last week what a Hollow Earth category would be if I wrote it, and it was just exactly what I said.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but we didn't cover any of the reptilians living down there.
Yeah, that's not what he said it was going to be, though.
Round 2, gambling. Question 1. What device is used by casinos to hold multiple decks of cards? Nick.
A shoe.
What?
I was gonna say a boot, but yeah.
Question 2. On a roulette wheel, what color is used for the 0 spaces? Nick.
Green. Is my degeneracy coming through yet?
Question 3. What horse racing bet pays out if the selected horse finishes either first or second? Nick.
A show?
No. You don't get to go again right now.
I'm getting in line.
Steven.
A trick?
No.
I'll pass.
Jake. All right, Nick.
A place?
Yeah. A show is for second or
It's
third.
for top. Yeah, it goes down to third. I couldn't remember exactly which one, but yeah, there's the win, the show, the place in the show.
Question 4. What poker player, pictured here, became the first to win the main event of the World Series of Poker after qualifying online, which he did in 2003?
Headcon. I used to know all these guys.
Your hint is that his last name is very appropriate for somebody that wins a lot playing poker. Not Jackie Chan. Steven.
Jim Stud.
No. Jake.
Chris Moneymaker.
It is in fact Chris Moneymaker.
Oh! I used to watch World Series of Poker like every night when it was on, when it used to be on ESPN, when it first got huge.
Question 5. Which term, which has become synonymous with dealer, originally referred to someone who stood behind a gambler to provide them with additional funds? Steven.
Spotter.
No.
Can you repeat the question?
What term, which has now become synonymous with the word dealer, originally referred to someone who stood behind a gambler to provide them with additional funds? Nick.
Croupier?
It is a croupier.
Okay.
Wow. Sumquack says host.
Question 6. In a game of craps, what are the craps numbers? Nick.
You're saying up top? So,
Yeah.
But, 4, what is it? Is it 5, 6, 8, 9, 10? 4, 5,
Wait.
6, 8, 9, 10.
Whatever question you asked me at the beginning, maybe I didn't understand what it meant, but in any case, no, you're Jake.
I
Jake.
have no clue. 1-1. I don't freaking know.
No. Steven.
12, 10, 8, 6.
No. So all the sources that I saw were calling them the craps numbers, but it's essentially the numbers that you don't want to come up.
Oh,
Nick.
7 and 11.
No. Steven.
2 and 7.
No.
No, that's just the worst hand in poker. Some quack says 2, 7, 11.
No.
Just 7.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
know
confused by this because
Steven.
I played
Snake
I played
eyes.
some,
So
I play some mean craps. I've won some good money playing craps in Reno.
this is maybe a side effect of the fact that I was trying to write a question about a game that I've never actually played. So I was relying on the terminology that I was just reading and assumed that everybody would understand it. And everybody else was calling them the craps numbers. But they're 2, 3, and 12.
Okay.
Okay, so the numbers
yeah.
that don't. Okay, because like 7's the number you don't want in craps. That's why I keep going to 7. And when
Now,
you were
if you get
talking
2,
up
you're
top,
effed.
well, it all yeah, well,
Unless you say that's what you're going to roll and then you roll it, like
well
You
that
don't want
or if you're on the don't pass line, it would be okay. But
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you're rolling it once you have a point number, right? Once you have a point and you're rolling for that, the only thing that really hurts you is a 7.
All right.
So,
Anyway,
um,
at the end of round 2,
oh,
we've got the audience with 1, Jake with 3, and Nick with 12. But it is still anyone's game.
my best game of craps, and this was great. We were at in Reno at the convention. It was me, Andrew, and Dave Benner, and we were playing craps, and Andrew was rolling, and he rolled for you had to have rolled for 20 minutes or so, and he was just hitting everything, and we were all making money, and the dice came to me, and I just got hot. I mean, like, I nearly won the fire bet, which is the all the point numbers at the top, hitting every point number before a 7 comes up, and I was on the 10, which was the last number I needed, and I rolled a 7 before hitting a 10. Had I hit that 7, if I had hit that 10, the lady next to us would have won like $1,200 off of a $5 bet or something, like a real low. Like, it was because it's such an absurd bet. Hell,
Yeah.
like, people were tipping me for my roll. You know, they were throwing bets onto 11 on that, or some of them just handed me chips when I was done rolling. Like, we were having so much fun because we were just killing it on that craps table.
Nice.
All right. Round 3, the 51st state. Oh, shoot. Did anyone
Eric
see
the
that?
Red.
Yeah.
I hate when I do that.
I feel like I got it. I said it first.
All right.
What's
I'll
the
give it to
question?
you.
Even though Jake needs the points.
What was the question?
The question was, what Viking and father of Leif Erikson founded a settlement on Greenland during a 3-year exile from Iceland?
Dadgummit, man. I knew what that was, too. That's so stupid. Go to the next one. Let's go.
Well, had I actually read the question, Nick would have beat you, so I guess be thankful for the points.
No. I don't get the points. You're not giving me those.
I gave you the points.
I do not deserve those. I
You
will
said it
not
first,
accept
Jake.
those points. Ask the next question.
Question 2. Gatun Lake makes up about Nick.
Panama.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to change the format of trivia so that everybody can answer.
You want to finish the question, Zane?
Gatun Lake makes up about 40% of the overall length of what piece of infrastructure?
Yeah, I think we would have all guessed that at some point in time.
Yeah.
Question 3. Nick.
I'm gonna guess Canada.
No.
His brain is rigged.
In this heartwarming photograph, President Donald Trump assists with the recovery effort after what 2017 hurricane devastated Puerto Rico? Steven.
Oh, what was the hurricane? It was Michael.
No. Jake.
I don't know. Hurricane Chad. I don't know.
No. Nick.
I want to say Hurricane Maria. Well, we know what that means.
All right. Last question. And this question comes with a visual hint. All right. So this is your hint.
Okay.
Nick.
Canada.
No. All right, here's the question. What drummer and lyricist wrote several songs, including Tom Sawyer and Anthem, that were influenced by libertarian ideas? Steven.
My hand was up.
You already went. You don't get to go again till everybody else goes.
Yeah, Neil Peart. I'm on the map, baby. I'm on the map.
There we go. I think you tied me.
All
with
right.
that one.
So I've got the audience with 1, Steven with 3, Jake with 6, and turning another dominating performance with 18. We got Nick.
I can't believe you counted my joke answer of Canada there as guessing. Because I
Hey,
knew it was Neil Peart.
You shouldn't
Don't
guess.
be a sore winner.
Yeah.
That is true. That one kind of locked away.
Perfect timing for whining philosophical. First off, before Zane, you get over to your corner. Thank you. That's much better. I had one other thing to look at, and it's just a real quick one. In 2024, the Department of State squandered $4.8 million on foreign influencers to basically
That's it?
sell
I would have guessed
the war
more.
in Ukraine. They were basically trying to sell the war in Ukraine.
Well, it doesn't cost much to buy Ukrainians off.
Well, how much did we pay the transsexual that was running their PR campaign?
I don't know.
It was a U.S. citizen that was it was like their PR campaign manager.
What? Really?
Yeah, I'm not lying to you, man.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Well, yeah, $4.8 million in 2024 alone went to influencers on social media. So to sell the Ukraine war. Yay. I do love, I've been enjoying following along with Doge and seeing what they discover and post, and them not allowing more government employees to be hired in certain situations.
I like this buying out government employees, and that email that told them to resign.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just type the word resign in the subject line.
Just type resign.
Okay, so we said we wanted to talk about
That's a good question, Grumpy. There are a lot of them.
How much do we pay them? That's a great question, Grumpy. I don't know.
Well,
But I mean,
there's
a
a
lot of them, and I get
$50 million earmark for condoms in Gaza, which that could go either way. It's either for the Israeli thoughts or it's for the condom bombs.
Well,
The condom
I've got
bombs?
Yes,
What are those?
they're an effective device for mixing liquids that would have an exothermic reaction.
Oh.
So like the only terror plot that DHS has foiled since 9/11, the underpants bomber. You know, the Ethiopian.
And the only
kid,
reason they foiled
he
it is
mixed some
because it
chemicals
failed
in a
to
condom
detonate.
and put it in his pants.
The only reason the only reason they successfully stopped it is because it failed to detonate.
Right. Right.
So
no, it still
they
burned his
barely-
leg. It just he didn't mix it well enough.
yeah, he barely you can barely say they foiled it. But
yeah.
there is a lot of Israeli
But when you see
attractive
earmarks
women on
for
it.
foreign aid for like millions of dollars for condoms,
Yeah.
it's not for pregnancy prevention. It's that's an IED device, not an IUD device. It's an IED device. It's a mixing pot.
All right. Well, we did touch on a subject that we wanted to address in this section, which is McAfee still alive? Did someone tweet from his platform the other day?
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was odd.
Is McAfee still alive? Zane, let's go to Zane first because Zane is the person who would know for sure. Zane, what do you think? Is McAfee still alive?
Let me consult my magic 8-ball on that one. I'll get back to you.
No, it was very weird, very interesting. So many people in the comment on that tweet were like, please be alive. Please be alive.
I wish. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think he is. I think they got him. But if there was one person who would be able to fake their own death to get out of a Spanish prison, go off the grid for a couple years and then pop back up, it would be John McAfee.
Yeah.
Like that, if you had to tell me, guess one person that would be able to do that, that's the person I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Him or Jeffrey Epstein, but Jeffrey Epstein always tried to keep a lower profile publicly. Meanwhile, McAfee's out there. You know, there was nothing better than like early on in the COVID thing. He's on his yacht cruising around the world. He's wearing his wife's thong on his face as a mask to make fun of it. Like there's no better person than John McAfee at this stuff. And his loss was a difficult one. And like I said, I think if there's one person who would be able to pull it off, it'd be John McAfee, but I think they got him.
Yeah, I kind of do too, but it was interesting to see his account tweet again.
Oh yeah. Hashtag my president.
Hashtag whacked.
There we go. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting one. But yeah, y'all, this is the part of the show where we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. Zane, is there anything on your mind recently?
I mean, this is maybe more of like a Nick topic, but I feel like we've got to talk about the plane crash at least a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
Because I think the clip that most people have seen is like the big light for the passenger plane and then the small light for the helicopter.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like they're both kind of going in the same direction. And that's kind of the one that makes it look like, the people that are saying that the helicopter looked like it was crashing into the plane on purpose. In the video that is out there that everybody's looking at, I can kind of see why you would think that. But if you actually look at a diagram of the directions that the plane and the helicopter were going, they were actually going in mostly opposite directions, which makes it at least more understandable as to how it could have been a mistake.
Well,
what I'm getting really irritated about is all the people that are blaming this on like hiring freezes at the FAA, even though there are all sorts of reasons why that's really stupid. Because first of all, they didn't even do a hiring freeze at the FAA, or at least the part of the FAA that hires air traffic control. Second of all, Trump has been in office for like a week, so it's pretty lame to be blaming this on his policies.
No,
and third of all,
training ATC takes months to be able to handle that and get those flows down. It's not a
2 years minimum.
And thirdly, there were reports of all these near misses that were happening right outside Washington Reagan, like multiple ones just in last year alone. And so that was, and all of that was happening before we had Trump and the hiring freeze and all that. So I'm not saying what caused it. I think that Trump getting up there and saying that oh, DE&I policies may have caused it. I don't think that that's really a helpful thing to be saying unless you have the receipts that that's actually true. I don't think it's really helpful to just go up there and run your mouth, but I guess that's what we get with Trump. But all the people saying that this is because the FAA got defunded is literally the most brain dead take you could possibly have.
Yeah.
So for anyone who hasn't followed, I've watched a little bit because I haven't been really working this week, and so today I had a little bit of, I looked a little bit. Jay, could you pull up like a Google Maps view of Washington Reagan?
Yeah. Let me get there.
And so we can take a look at the layout on this. So Washington Reagan is one of the notoriously difficult places to fly into because the airspace is so restricted. I mean, you've got the Pentagon on the one side of you, and you've got the White House and everything like that on the other side of the river. So as you're coming in, you have to be. I think the approach is basically straight down the Potomac, and from what I think they were doing on this is you see that the runway that's basically parallel to the river. I don't think they were coming in on that runway. I think they were coming in on that intersecting runway there, which I think the primary runway is the straight on one because of the flight paths on that restriction.
Yeah, because of the length as well.
Right. So I think that, you were talking, we were talking, this is a regional jet, so it's smaller. That small runway would handle it, no problem. Right. But I believe that's what's going on, is that it was coming in on that. Now the helicopter, I thought it was saying the transponder was off, but videos I was seeing on this showed the flight positioning was showing a call sign on that helicopter. So it looked like to me that the transponder was on. It wasn't just showing up as a blip on their radar. I believe part of the flight restrictions on that is that the helicopter should have been no higher than 200 feet. And for some reason, right before the plane approached, it shot up to almost 400 feet.
Jeez.
And it's 100% that, it's the helicopter's fault, because my understanding is the jet was on an ideal approach onto that runway. So, you can't really maneuver the jet has to go where it's going. The helicopter has the ability to hover and hold. So someone either cleared that helicopter to move, and I don't know on this, but I was hearing that, you can't blame the hiring freeze, that it's been chronically understaffed at that airport, and someone was handling helicopter traffic and aircraft approach traffic, I guess, and must have cleared the helicopter through. But then that brings up, every commercial jet has a crash avoidance system on it, and I'm assuming the Blackhawks flying in that area have crash avoidance systems on them.
I would.
So they're looking ahead, and they're looking to see what other aircraft transponders it's picking up, and if it's saying, "Hey, you are too close," the systems are supposed to go off with an immediate, instructing the pilots to either ascend or descend, depending on, they kind of coordinate, and one person's going to get descend instructions, the other one's going to get ascended instructions. And I know a lot of this because I watch a lot of the YouTube channels where they break down airplane crash investigations, because for some reason I add that to my nerd badges. I watched the aircraft crash incident videos, so because I generally find those kind of interesting, because it's not like you deal with it every day, and you kind of pick up, here's issues that went on, and here's how things were solved, and it's kind of an interesting part in how air travel is actually as safe as it generally is. But for some reason, that helicopter should not have been in that airspace, and it was. And it's clear because that plane had the clearance to land, and somehow that helicopter had either had the clearance or crossed it. So I'm not
Zero
quite
Hedge
sure.
was reporting this morning too. I say this morning. It was probably early this afternoon. Apparently there was some communication transcripts that were coming out that were being released to the public. And
I listened to the ACC. I listened to the ATC audio. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they were basically saying go behind the jet. which, you know, when they're saying that, you should have visual, like look out the window for God's sake.
They said they had visual.
There you go.
The chopper said they had visual of the plane.
Yeah. And then it just flies straight into it. So my knee jerk, and I can't prove this yet, I just have this nasty hunch inside. You remember a couple of years ago over in the South China Sea when two of our big freight liners just slammed into each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like $40 million freight liners just, I'm pretty sure you got some systems to avoid that kind of thing. And one of the guys was like, all my controls just went dark. I had no control. I didn't even have comms. You know, because the only thing that happened was, you know, the guy got on his cell phone. That was the only way we had a heads up. Was the guy got on his cell phone and was like, I can't control this damn thing. Brace yourself. You know, he called the other captain. And so part of me thinks, like, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't long ago we had these mysterious drones flying over not too far from there, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, what we were getting, at least from, you know, the command at the time was, I don't know, you know, people have these things. I don't know what to make of them, you know? So
turns out it was all FAA approved flights.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But
The Trump administration already came out and said the FAA approved all those drones.
Blackhawks can be remotely flown.
Well, yeah. I mean, all these military
is-
helicopters have autopilot on them.
Well, but it's
Or at
not
least
just
like these
autopilot.
newer
There is
ones.
like remote capability as well. Like you don't need a pilot at all. So can that override the manual controls is the question.
Well, I mean, it's also, I guess, the possibility that, and I don't know.
How, because look, they don't give just anybody the keys to these Black Hawk helicopters.
Right. No, it's a very experienced crew.
Yeah. Like you know, you go through like psychological profile. Like they know what's up here before they put you behind the joystick of one of these things. And the behavior, the flight path, like you're saying, like why would like confirm on audio you've got a visual and then fly right into it like a moth to a flame? Like,
yeah,
that doesn't make sense, man.
To be honest, my first job out of college, I was doing flight simulators, and the project I was on was for a Army Lakota helicopter, and I think it was a UH-72 Lakotas, and you know, so I had the manuals on how to operate those, and I had read the manuals on how to operate them, and then I went down and I went down to Jacksonville and actually had to measure them in a hangar at one point and try to get all the proper dimensions and everything. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, so if I did this and this and this and this and this and this, that engine would start right up. Like I know exactly. I knew at that point exactly how to turn those things on. Now flying it is probably a whole different story, but you know, they do have autopilot on it. And that was actually a cool trip because it was a helicopter. It was a helicopter thing in Jacksonville. And so they had a couple of those. They had like a real small, I think one or two like real small, like 2-seater helicopters. And then they had a bunch of Blackhawks, which they were flying while we were there. And they had some of the Chinooks, and the guys we were with there used to fly the Chinooks, and they took us into one of those and showed us inside of those. So that was pretty neat. But
awesome.
Well, and then here's another angle too: is that this is all just a distraction to, you know, not let you pay attention to the fact that Jake Paul is fighting Logan Paul on March 27th.
Although the other thing to keep in mind,
Jake Paul actually fighting Logan Paul?
Oh yes,
I think he said he was fighting everyone.
No, like that supposedly is happening March 27th on HBO.
I'm not watching.
Yeah, well, of course, because you don't know about it because this crash happened.
That's got to be
it. The other thing to keep in mind beyond remote control is, you know, they were told to go in behind the jet. Did they punch that into the autopilot and then hit go instead of just leaving it sit and then immediately take off? And, you know, did they say, all right, we're doing this? And they punched in their coordinates and their altitude into the autopilot as they were waiting. And then all of a sudden, You know, instead of leaving it there, they hit go on it and it took off immediately, and they didn't have the time to react and get it back under manual control and get out of the way. Like,
I mean, yes, I mean, like the low hanging fruit, just because it's the headline du jour, is that like, oh, you know, air traffic control was a DEI hire, or the helicopter pilot was a DEI hire, or, you know, one of the pilots was a DEI hire. Just look, let's just assume here that even the DEI hires still have to follow protocol when it comes to flying dozens of souls through the air across the country. You know, DEI hire or not, you know, if you can't flip the right switches at the right time, you're not behind that joystick.
Well,
it's clear to me. It's clear to me that it's not the. It's pretty clear to me it's not the jet pilot who is responsible on this. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, the jet did exactly what they were supposed to do. Zane, what were you about to say?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say I've watched enough episodes of Air Crash Investigators myself to know that pilot error is at fault a lot of the time. So I wouldn't discount that as an explanation for all crashes, but I think for this one, especially for the jet pilots, as you said, is very unlikely.
Well, either way, no matter what it was, it's an extremely sad event. 67 people are dead, including a whole bunch of kids. Like a lot of kids were on that flight, which is extremely sad.
A bunch of figure skaters, right?
Yep, it was a bunch of like teenage, like 10 to 16-year-old figure skaters and their families. So
now you know what Brian Boitano would do in such a situation.
He'd make a plan and he'd follow through. That's what Brian Boitano would do.
Yeah.
So, you know, pray for the families. You know, send thoughts and prayers their way, because I mean, it's
and even everybody on the helicopter. I mean, good God, like
there's 3 folks on the helicopter too. So
I mean, just imagine that. You know, looking out the window and knowing what you're flying towards. It's just horrible to think about that. Just golly.
Yeah.
But I shudder to think that maybe there's some Chinese tech in that helicopter that allowed it to be taken over.
I guess we'll maybe or maybe not find out at some point. But
yeah,
this is the world's worst segue. But here we go.
I am not fucking drunk.
Well, 19th or blue.
Every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball.
This is everything about it's a clam. I love it.
I gotta be honest with you, I feel like I'm a little bit too drunk to stand up.
On Wiedersehen, asshole.
I'm drunk right now.
All right, y'all. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put that up there. That was unfortunate. They are not the drunkards of the week.
No.
Yeah, this week we had some nominations. I apologize. I didn't get to them just yet. So I will get to them next week. I had one lined up already for this week, or one that I could have chosen. And I think it was incredibly underappreciated. And it's not a funny one. It's more of I wanted a good American moment. And this was at the inauguration for Donald Trump. So here you go. Audio's messing up.
You know the words, help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Good job.
We want to be free to do what we want to do. Yeah. We want to get loaded. Yeah. And we want to have a good time.
Much better than last week's Drunkard of the Week.
Yeah, y'all didn't have one, sadly. But that
No,
was
it was
Carrie
Billy Ray
Underwood.
Cyrus.
Oh my gosh, that was so painful. Yeah, this
We
was
weren't
much better
prepared
one.
for it, but I threw it out on the spot. Billy
Yeah,
Ray
no,
Cyrus.
that was a good one last week. I forgot about that. I blocked that from my memory. But yeah, I just thought, like, one, I do think that should be the national anthem, and her singing it should be the standard way. But the fact that so many musicians nowadays would not be able to actually perform that a cappella and murder and just crush it. But she just said, no, I got it, and just started blasting it out. And I just thought it was a really, I don't know, I got chills. I just thought it was a great moment. And
it was so awkward. I mean, because like they waited and waited and waited and waited. And then finally, I think someone just like, she made eye contact with somebody and they were like, just go. And she said, okay, here we go.
Yep. And she's awesome. I've always loved Carrie Underwood.
Oh yeah, I love her too, man. I think she even makes music sometimes.
Yeah. Zane, what do you
I've
got?
got to say, I'm even kind of embarrassed to admit as a libertarian, but the entire ceremony I did essentially enjoy watching. And I was trying to reflect on why that was the case, because obviously it's a room full of war criminals that are, getting together and trying to lend legitimacy to a system that we would all say has none. Yeah. But it's like, why did I enjoy watching this? And I think there are a couple of reasons. The first is that I think humans just like having ceremonies, and it's unfortunate that so many of them these days are wrapped up in governments that are so awful. But I think there is something about the humans that just appreciate traditions and formalities and that sort of thing. So when we see it, especially when we see it in ways that at least is trying to like represent what's supposed to be good about it, even if all the things that are supposed to be good about it, it actually routinely fails to accomplish. There is something about at least, trying to make it look like things that we would want. I think also, and this is an explanation that only applies to us because we definitely all would have rather wanted to have Trump win than Kamala. But the reason for that, and the reason that I enjoyed watching Trump being inaugurated, is not so much a political victory, but a cultural victory, where the cultural forces and shifts that had to be happening in order for Trump to win are a lot of things that I am happy that are happening. Like in particular, did you guys notice how explicitly Christian the entire ceremony was, in contrast to some other previous inaugurations? I mean, we did have the one beef radio operator give a prayer at the end, but aside from that, all the rest of the prayers and like all the songs.
But his hand wasn't on the Bible, Zane. He didn't put his hand on the Bible. Why?
I mean, watching it in real time,
because it wasn't there in time, y'all. They were something happened.
They rushed the hell out of it.
Yeah,
they rushed the hell out of that because I think they were saying that I think John Roberts realized that it wasn't noon, that he was heading past noon, and he had to and so he didn't. I mean, you saw that he didn't even wait for Trump's family to get up there around them like JD Vance's. You saw them eventually make their way up in the middle of it, but you could tell that part was rushed.
Yeah. But Zane, I mean, I completely agree with you, man. Like, I think that we do love ceremony and we do love tradition. And I think it's kind of ingrained in us as human beings. And I think that in that moment, I don't know, they could have chosen, or there are plenty of singers that could have done that, and we'd have not liked that particular moment because the singer sucks, or we know their political views, or they're way too outspoken. But I've never heard Carrie Underwood talk politics in my life. Right. And she's a phenomenal singer. And I think, I don't know, I love our country. I just freaking hate the government. But in that moment, it was like everyone there and everyone participated in it. Everyone was singing together. And it just felt like everyone in that moment loved the United States. And that's something that I really like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just thought it was a beautiful moment. And Carrie Underwood is our drunkard of the week for being a badass. Audience, if you have any questions, send them out now, because we're now at the 2-hour mark. Look, y'all, I am in a construction zone. There's literal just hundreds of tools around me because they're renovating my house, and we are currently on week 9 of a 4-week renovation.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
So yay for contractors. Woohoo.
Are you in Atlanta right now, or?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. This is my house.
Okay.
This is what we call the dog room, because it has a dog door right over there that goes directly outside. But there are no dogs here right now. I'm the only one in the house. We're staying at a friend's house right now. So
right on, dog.
Yeah. Good one. All right, but we're going to go to the funnies unless somebody else has something important to say before we get there.
Audience, this is your participation point when we get to the audience, whatever we call the audience thing. So throw questions, say something.
Yeah.
Because this is where
it's called Audience Asks, We Ignore. So
right.
We're
So
actually not going to answer their questions.
This is where you can make fun of Zane, or you can congratulate me for winning trivia once again.
Yeah, you totally could. But oh no, we went on to the next topic. We're now
hey, Grumpy says Georgia SB 62. Is that defend the guard, Grumpy? Is that defend the guard?
Well, let's see if he responds. He normally takes about 10 seconds.
So I'm guessing that's what. I know Colton Moore introduced defend the guard again.
It limits local ordinances and policies that restrict public camping and sleeping. It also prevents hospitals and law enforcement from dropping off homeless people outside of their jurisdictions.
Grumpy says it's
defend the guard.
Congratulations to Diego for defend the guard passing 3 state committees. Awesome.
Should see about getting Diego on the show sometime.
I'd love to have Diego on the show. Yeah, let's do that. We've got a bunch, y'all. Just so y'all know, we have a bunch of guests lined up, and as long as they don't ghost us like Jamar did today, then should be a pretty entertaining few weeks coming up. I think we've got 6 guests lined up for 6 out of the next 8 weeks. So we're gonna try to at least have one show a month where it's just us, and then the others I'm opening up to guests. We now have a calendar where you can go, request and fill out a form and go actually be a guest on the show. So we will publish that eventually. Actually, no, we're not going to publish that. I'm not going to let anybody and their mama sign up for being a guest on this show. But if you have somebody you think should be a guest, put it in the chat, message us.
Or if you think you should be a guest, let us know.
I got news. If you watch or listen to this show, you probably shouldn't be a guest on this show.
That's probably true.
You're way too, underqualified.
Although me and Grumpy are going to do a pants drunk and call it Nick and Gnome.
That's perfect. Let's do that.
I've been talking about it at least.
I would love a pants drunk episode of Nick and Gnome. That would just be the best. All right, y'all. Let's go watch some funny videos. Before we do, go to peacefulseed.network and join the Dollar Media Club. $12 a year is the base subscription. $100 a year is the next one up. So next one up, you get way more perks, way better perks. So $100 per year, not a bad deal. But yeah,
get those Valentine's teddy bears too from Peaceful.
Get those Valentine's teddy bears that say, I love you more than I hate government, which is something that every libertarian should buy.
Jake is still guaranteeing that it will arrive before Valentine's Day.
I actually can not guarantee, but definitely
he'll do his end of the deal.
I'm very confident.
You're at the mercy of the Postal Service after that.
Good night, Grumpy. Love you, dude. All right, here we go. First one of the evening is a comedian, Jimmy Carr.
I'm going to meet the family of my ballerina girlfriend from Colorado next month. how do I impress her family? Her name is Elizabeth. Who's going to meet the family? Who's meeting the? Hi, where's the guy meeting the family? What's your name, mate? Conrad. And how long have you had an imaginary girlfriend? It's quite tough to impress the imaginary mum and dad of the imaginary ballerina in Colorado. You know the big ballet scene in the Midwest in America they have. You know, the ballerinas. You being catfished, you fucking idiot. Have you paid for a mum's operation already, or is that? Have you? How did you meet? Come on, let's indulge him. Let's play along. How did you meet this ballerina? Did you meet her online? What a way to find out.
Oh, that was great. If you don't follow Jimmy Carr, I highly recommend. That dude is hilarious and very insightful in certain times. Okay,
and
this
a
next
lot of,
one.
A lot of our top comics in the U.S. say that he's one of the hardest working guys in the industry right now too.
Really?
They say that dude will habitually. He'll do 12 shows a week for 35 weeks straight.
Wow.
Jeez.
Something like that. Like, it's just nuts what he'll do.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shows.
All right. So this next one, it was a commercial from 2006, and I think it was at the Super Bowl. And I have been looking for this commercial for a very long time, and it popped up on my Instagram feed the other day. So please enjoy.
Hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät. Überlebensradar.
Mayday, mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking.
What are you thinking about?
Oh,
I don't remember that one.
It was. I thought it was so stinking funny.
Good one.
It is a good one. All right. What are you thinking about? I mean, I literally quote that weekly, I think. What are you thinking about?
That's so great.
All right. Next one. I think every guy can relate to this. Here we go. Guys strapping things down.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Not a chance that this could go anywhere.
I don't think even if it could, it would go anywhere.
I'd say if it would try to go somewhere, it could.
If this thing had somewhere to go, it couldn't get there.
If this thing had weekend plans, cancel them because it's not going there.
That's like the one video where they what is it? There's a drill and a couple other things, and it's like the guy test and
the guy test, drill, a baseball. What else is in that? Yeah, that's a good one. And they test their girlfriends with it sometimes. Those are great.
Yeah, he doesn't throw the baseball up and doesn't the drill and
and doesn't clack the tongs.
Yeah,
that's a good one. All right, final one of the evening. This is all about ice raids, which have apparently been happening quite a bit, which we'll probably talk about in an episode soon.
Which, hey, by the way, let me chime in real quick. Local schools in Georgia have already had briefings that if ICE comes in to confiscate one of your students, you are not to interfere with the process, or you're obstructing a federal officer.
Yeah, you shouldn't it would be really dumb of you to obstruct the process. Like, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
They've
But-
also said that a bunch of ICE agents went on like an episode of Dr. Phil or something. I saw a clip of the
In Chicago, yeah,
Dr.
when
Phil,
they arrested,
and Dr. Phil asked them, "Are you going into schools to take away kids?" And they were all like, "No, of course not."
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're not doing that crap. They're waiting for the kid to get out of school, and they're going to grab him from home. They're not like
We're off at the bus
Yeah,
stop.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, as soon as I see those stories, I'm like, yeah, they're not going in the schools. Like
So this
you know,
is this
things that
is
never
local
I think
school
things that never
boards.
happened for 500.
This is local school boards playing politics, getting the teachers all upset about something that's not going to actually freaking happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the final one of the evening. Let me make sure that, yeah, good.
Yeah, hello? An officer with ICE doing a routine check. Well, I'm an American citizen. Well, we have questions that'll determine that answer. Okay. How many points are scored in a football game? 6. We want to make America great again. Who's the best female artist? Taylor Swift. All right, last question. Can you say Walmart? Sir, can you say Yes, I know. Walmart. No.
I saw a version that was an Arab guy. Of that same thing.
Walmart.
Okay.
Oh, who knew Walmart was the new shibboleth?
It's so funny. Oh man. All right, y'all. Well, yeah, that's pretty much our episode for the evening. Thank y'all for tuning in to Liberty Libations, episode number 110. We've done 110 episodes. Yeah, we got a lot of merch, y'all. Go onto their website. We've got some sweet, sweet merch. Not all of it has the Liberty Libations tag. We have, in fact, let's just go over a few of the new items because I've been trying to add stuff pretty regularly and been doing a decent job at it, I think. All right. Yeah, I'll just show y'all some of the new items we got there. All right, we've got the drink and be free glass. Comes with a straw and a lid if you order it that way, with an alternate logo, which actually might end up being our full-time logo here very soon.
That'd be a great one for drinking and driving.
But
Yeah, take that to the drive-through liquor store.
we've got the Porcupine Eats beer coaster, which is another drink and be free coaster. We've got the same porcupine on a rocks glass. We've got a bunch of new Cascade Effect stuff for Mike, Justice for Mike hats, beanies, shirts. We've got the item that Zane wouldn't shut up about, which is the Liberty Libation sticker sheet.
Now we're talking.
$20. You get 9 awesome stickers. Cascade Effect puzzle. You got bumper stickers. I mean, you got awesome stuff in here.
Got stickers for all your favorite members of the show.
You do. You've got Alden Makes Me Hardee. You've got Mr. Manhole. You got the Etymologist. You got the Shadow Lurker. You got the Bitcoin Bimbo, and you got Highbrow Hater. So yeah, got to catch them all. And then I don't know if y'all know this, but I traveled around the world for a while and took some sweet, sweet photographs of different places, and you can get those on a canvas if you want. There are some spectacular ones, if I do say so. Oh, there's also a Liberty Libations koozie, which I forgot to put at the top.
Right next to the picture of the Holocaust Memorial.
You can get the skinny one or the regular koozie. Yeah. That is one side, and then the other side is drink beer, spread misinformation. So, yeah, go grab some stuff. We got more coming as well. I will continue to put more on the website, and you can wear your libertarianism, anarchism, whatever you want proudly. So, yeah. Anybody got anything before we head out?
I would say just get something on some polo shirts so people can wear it to work.
You've told me that before, and I failed to do so. That is my bad.
Yeah.
I will not put drink beer, spread misinformation on those.
Yeah. No, I mean, but you could just Liberty Libations.
Liberty Libations.
If it's got a collar, I can wear it to the office.
Deal. Done.
Look who's checking in last second, Jake.
Oh, Hannah, do you want us to stick around for another 2 hours and just basically repeat the entire show? Thank you for joining in at 10:17.
It's good to see you, Hannah. I'm glad you're alive. Glad you're doing well. Congratulations on the new baby. We love you and we miss you.
Yeah, she says I need to come back from Libations maternity leave soon so I can come dominate trivia. Yeah, you need to
I'm winning too much, and it's hurting the morale of the show.
Well, me and Zane are going to talk this week, and we're going to make it so that everybody can participate in trivia and that everybody can have a chance at getting the answer correct. So that
if we do whiteboards and then hold up the answer at the same time, that's probably the.
So that's basically what's going to happen, and the audience will get to put in their singular guesses, and it'll be very good because it'll basically be us. It'll be like 20 to 30 seconds per question, and so the audience will be able to put in their answers, and they'll have a plethora of answers compared to one each for us. So it'll actually give the audience an advantage, which will be fun.
So that'd be good. For me, you can check out my appearance earlier on Tuesday on Swampcast.
Heck yeah.
Good people there. You can join their Discord. They play poker in it, apparently. They got a lot of good stuff going on there. And if you join our Discord, we can maybe come up with some stuff like that too and have fun in there. So join the Dollar Media Club.
It's so funny. We have like, I don't know, 50 to 60 members of the Dollar Media Club, and only one has joined the Discord.
Which is wild because it's like, join the Discord, because if you join the Discord and participate, the Discord is a lot of us throwing stories out there and stuff like that. You can be a part of that process. You can throw the stories out to us. You can give us whatever feedback. You can make fun of Zane. Like it's all the world is your oyster if you're in the Discord. But if people are participating, then we can come up with these extra features, and you can throw these extra features and plugins and fun stuff in where we can have some fun in there and build a little bit of a community.
Yeah, we can't think of everything. So y'all come in and make the Discord better. The Discord's already awesome, but it needs to be better because I'm not a professional Discorder.
Yeah, we'll talk about, because I've done enough. I could probably add improvements and fix stuff up, but
Nick, let the audience do it. Don't worry about it. I'm sure they'll come in.
But as more shows are added, right? There's channels for different shows and things. So
yeah. Y'all, before we go check out the Cascade Effect. That's one of the shows on Ciesielski Network. It is getting a massive amount of attention. For our most recent episode, we basically detailed out how we were submitting a grand jury petition. We submitted a grand jury petition, and the judge rubber stamped it within 2 hours of getting the binder petition. So she didn't have time to review it. She didn't have time to look at the evidence. She didn't have time to consider it. She just rubber stamped the document as rejected and went on her day. So we are now petitioning the Supreme Court of Montana, and it costs a lot of money to do that, to put together all these things. And we're going to run a massive advertising campaign, including we're going to attempt to buy a billboard outside of the sheriff's office that quotes the sheriff saying that a warrant isn't necessary to search your property. It only bolsters your case.
Oh,
we're going to put that as a quote from him right outside his office. So
what's the fee? What's the fee for that?
So we're accepting donations right now on the website, Cascade Effect donations. You can donate to the petition stuff or the advertisement campaign. And we've gotten a good amount of money from both. So we need more, but we're excited for what we can do with it at this point in time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we're going to buy up all the bus bench ads because after last year, all the political ones went away. And so they all need new advertisements. So
they're on discount now.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to get all of them.
Interesting.
All right, y'all. That'll do it for this week. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Liberty Libations. We'll see you next week.